Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Allie. I am the owner of Cozyyguru. Today I thought I would make a tutorial for my new love bee pattern that I just released. It is the most adorable little bee with heart wings. I think this guy is perfect for Valentine's Day, perfect for markets, works up super quickly, super beginner friendly. So I thought it would be perfect for my first YouTube video to be a tutorial for him. So keep watching if you are interested in learning how to make my cute little love bee. The written pattern will be linked in the description box if you prefer written patterns or if you want to buy it to support me. Let's get into the materials that you need. Alright, so for materials, you are going to need 3 colors of yarn. Today I am using Premier Perfect Chunky. Color A is going to be Ballet Pink, color B is going to be Candy Apple, and color C is going to be White. You will need a crochet hook to match. I am using a 5mm hook. You will need some polyfill stuffing. You will need a pair of safety eyes. I am going to be using 14mm today, and then you'll need the backs for them. You are going to need a pair of scissors, and then you are going to need a stitch marker and a darning needle. Okay, so let's get into the tutorial. Since this is more of a beginner-friendly pattern, I am going to show the steps a little bit more in depth. You can skip ahead if you need to. I'm only going to be showing each new stitch at the beginning of each round. So starting in your color A, for round 1, we are going to first make a magic ring. I don't do the typical magic ring. What I do is I chain 2 and work into that first chain. So we are going to make a slip knot. This is how I make my slip knot. I hold my yarn like this. Take my yarn in my right hand and I wrap it over my left hand finger and then hold. And then I grab the tail and I pull it over, and then I grab this part and pull it over, and then put my hook through and then just pull it tight, and you pull on this tail to tighten to your hook. Okay, so now we're going to yarn over and pull through, and that's chain 1, yarn over, pull through, chain 2. So now we're going to work all of our single crochets into this stitch right here. So I am going to insert my hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. And now I'm going to take my stitch marker and put it into this stitch. You're going into this top V right here. That's where you're putting your stitch marker. So now we're going to do 7 more of those for a total of 8. You are working all 8 of those into that first chain that we created, or into your magic circle if you prefer to do a magic circle. So now for round 2, we are going to increase for 8 times to get to 16 stitches. So we are going to insert our hook into that first stitch where our stitch marker is, remove our stitch marker, and then we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. This is your new first stitch of the round, so we put our stitch marker in there, and then we are going to go back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is an increase when you place 2 stitches into the same stitch. So we're going to do 7 more increases for a total of 16 stitches. Okay, this is the end of round 2. We should have 16 single crochets in our round. Now for round 3, we are going to do a single crochet and then an increase. So in that first stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, and then insert your stitch marker into that stitch. And then in the next stitch, we are going to yarn over, and then in the next stitch, we are going to do an increase. So we insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, and then go back into that same stitch and repeat that. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. So we did a single crochet and then an increase. And we're going to repeat that 7 more times for a total of 24 stitches. Alright, so now we are at the end of round 3, and you should have 24 single crochets in your round. So now for round 4, we are going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase. So we are going to insert our hook into our first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, insert our stitch marker, and that's our new first stitch. Insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. That is 2 single crochets, and now we do an increase. So we insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull through, insert into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through. So we should have 4 stitches right here, and then we are going to repeat that sequence 7 more times for a total of 32 single crochets. This is what you should look like after round 4. We should have 32 single crochets around. So now for the next few rounds, we are just going to be single crocheting around into each 32 stitches one time. We're going to do this for rounds 5, 6, and 7, totaling to 3 rounds of 32 stitches. So we are just going to insert our hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull through. That is our first stitch, and then we are just going to go around and place 1 single crochet into each stitch. That was the end of round 5. I am going to do round 6 and 7 off camera, but you just keep continuing 1 single crochet in each stitch around for those next 2 rounds. So I will see you at the end of round 7. Alright, so we just completed round 7. I did not do the last stitch because we now are going to color change. So I'm going to show you guys how to color change. We're going to need our color B, which mine is Candy Apple. So in our last stitch, we are going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we're going to drop our pink yarn. And then we are going to grab our red yarn, and I just kind of like drape it and then hold it with my finger right here. And now we're going to yarn over this yarn and pull it through to complete our single crochet. We are going to do that in the last stitch of the rounds that we color change in. So now we have the red yarn on our hook. Okay, so now for rounds 8 and 9, we are just going to single crochet around, 1 single crochet in each stitch. I am going to do those off camera, and I will see you at the end of round 9. Okay, I am coming up on the end of round 9, so we are going to be color changing again for round 10. So we are going to do everything except for our last stitch. And then in our last stitch, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, grab our pink yarn from the back, and then yarn over with it and pull through, and then tighten down our red. And now we have color changed back to pink. So we are just going to complete 2 more rounds of single crochet around. Alright, I am on my last stitch of round 11 now, so we are going to color change again to color B, and now we are going to do 2 more rounds with color B. Alright, so I am doing the last stitch of round 13 now, so we are going to color change back to color A again. And then we can actually go ahead and cut off color B because we're done with it. And this is what your color changes should look like on the inside of your project. You should have just a nice little line of your yarns being carried up. Now we are going to go ahead and insert our safety eyes. And I am going to insert my eyes in between rounds 3 and 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4 and insert. I like my color changes to be on the bottom as well. We're going to grab our other eye, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how I like my eyes to look. I like them to be kind of above my magic ring. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put the backs on my eyes. I have a safety eye tool that I like to use. So this is what our eyes look like. So we are just going to single crochet around for rounds 14 and 15. And I will see you at the end of round 15. So for round 16, we are going to be starting our decreases. This is what your bee should look like after round 15. You should have your first segment of color A, 2 rounds of color B, 2 rounds of color A, 2 rounds of color B, and 2 rounds of color A. For round 16, we are going to do 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2, and then we are going to decrease. I personally prefer to do invisible decreases, so we are going to insert our hook into the front loop of our next stitch. If you can see, there is kind of like a V shape right here. There is back here, and then a line right here. So we are going to insert only into this front part of the V, and then we are going to insert into the front part of the V on our next stitch as well. So that's 2 stitches that we're in the front loops of. And then we're going to yarn over, pull through those 2 stitches, and then we have 2 loops on our hook, and then yarn over and pull through those. So now we have 3 stitches. I will show it one more time just because I know that it can be a little bit more difficult. So we are going to be picking up just the front loop of the next 2 stitches after our 2 single crochets. So we're going to go in the front loop and go in the front loop, yarn over, pull through both, yarn over, pull through the loops, and then we should have 6 stitches. So we're going to do this 6 more times for a total of 24 stitches. Alrighty, I am doing my last decrease right now. So now we should have 24 stitches in our round. So now I'm going to stuff my bee most of the way. I will add more stuffing at the end. And then I do like to kind of squish my bee a little bit to keep that round shape. For round 17, we are going to do 1 single crochet and then decrease. So we're going to insert into our first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both, put our stitch marker back, and now we're going to go into the front loops of the next 2 stitches again, yarn over, pull through both of those, yarn over, pull through both of our loops. So now we have 2 stitches, and I'll show you one more time. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and that's 1 single crochet, and then go into the front loops of your next 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through the front loops, yarn over, pull through both. And we're going to do this 6 more times for a total of 16 single crochets. now for round 18, we are going to just do 8 decreases to reach a total of 8 single crochets. So we're going to take our stitch marker out of our first stitch, and then we're going to insert into the front loop and insert into the front loop of the next stitch. So the first 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and that's 1 single crochet. And then we put our stitch marker into that stitch. So now we are going to just keep repeating this, doing our decreases. Okay, so we just completed our last decrease. So now we are going to cut our yarn and leave a little bit of a tail so that we can sew up our plushie. Now is the time where you would add more stuffing if you want. I am going to add a little bit more. Okay, so this is what our bee is looking like. But now we have a hole back here, so we have to sew that up. So you're going to grab your darning needle and put your yarn through. And then we are going to go into the front loops. So this is both loops. It's kind of hard to tell. But you just want to make sure that you have that front V picked up, or the front loop of the V picked up. And you're going to pull your yarn needle through. And you're going to do that 8 times total. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we are going to gently pull this tail, which will kind of cinch up that hole right there, like so. And then I always like to go through underneath and just kind of sew a little bit more. So pull your tail through and just kind of poke through. I always like to do this just to make it a little bit more secure. Okay, and now we are going to take our needle and just insert it into the center of the hole that we stitched up and pull out somewhere random in the body. Pull that. Okay, and then reshape. And now we're going to cut off this yarn and then poke in our tail. I use my scissors, but you can also use the needle. That is our bee body. So this is what we're looking like. Alright, I am going to be showing you guys how to make the heart-shaped wings in this tutorial. Okay, so we are going to just make another slip knot and put that on our hook. And then chain 2 for our magic ring. And now we are going to work 8 single crochets into that first chain, just like we did in round 1 of the bee. And now we are going to increase in each stitch around, just like we did in round 2 of the bee. I like to crochet over my tail from my magic ring as well. So just make sure that that is draped over your hook as well when you're going through your stitch. That was the end of round 2. So now we are going to go on to round 3, which will create the heart shape. So we are going to, in our first stitch, we are going to insert our hook and single crochet. Put your stitch marker in that first single crochet. And now we are going to chain 2. So you're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And then you're going to go back into your first stitch and do 1 more single crochet. So now we're going to do 3 single crochets. So 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch, and 3. And now we're going to do 2 half double crochets. So to do a half double crochet, you are going to yarn over, insert your hook into your next stitch, yarn over again, pull up a loop, And now we have 3 loops on our hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. I'll show you one more time. So yarn over, insert into your next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So we just did our 2 half double crochets. And now in your next stitch, you are going to do 3 double crochets all in that same stitch. So to do a double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook into your next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the next 2 or the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. And we're going to repeat that 2 more times. So yarn over, insert into your stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then 1 more. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now in your next stitch, you are going to do 1 more half double crochet. So that is when you pull through all 3 loops. And now in your next stitch, you are going to do a slip stitch. So you're going to insert your hook into your stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, but now we're going to take and just pull that through. Okay, so now we're basically going to repeat this sequence on the other side, but mirrored. So you're going to do 1 half double crochet, and then 3 double crochet all in the same stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we are going to do 2 more half double crochets. So 1, 2, and then we're going to do 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we are back at our first stitch. So we are going to insert our hook into our first single crochet, and we're going to do a slip stitch, and then we're going to insert our hook into this chain 2 space right here, not into any of the chains itself, just into the space that it makes. And then we're going to do 1 more slip stitch. Okay, and then that is our heart wing. You may have to kind of like shape it a little bit, but you can see the heart shape. So now we are going to cut our yarn, and we're going to leave a good tail for sewing, and then you're going to fasten off. So now you are going to make 1 more of these wings. So I am going to do that off camera. All right, I just finished my second wing, so now we are going to sew them on. Make sure that my color changes are on the bottom. And I like to sew my wings between rounds 10 and 11, right in the middle between your 2 stripes. So I kind of like to get them kind of lined up with the eyes, which you can do this easily by taking your tail for sewing and kind of pulling it down like that. I don't have sewing sticks, so I am just shoving a plastic needle in there to hold it into place. Okay, so we have about 1.5 visible stitches. So I just like to make sure that I like the placement of everything really quick. So I'll move my tails out of the way and just make sure that I like that. I think I'm gonna move them over 1 stitch each. I think that that is more centered. We are going to grab our darning needle. I am going to start with this one. Grab our tail. I know everybody has different ways of sewing, I think. This is how I like to sew. I just kind of hold my wing in place put my needle through. And then I like to come up underneath the wing and insert my needle. And then go down into the plushie. It's really hard to explain how to sew something on, so I'm sorry if this isn't the best instructions. Hopefully you guys can just kind of see what I'm doing. I just like to come up from underneath to go back into the wing, and then go over, like, down into the bee part. Just get your wing nice and secure. We can take that out now. I also like to kind of reinforce the pointy shape as much as I can. I know that it's kind of difficult to do, but the main thing is you want to make sure that your wings are secure. So now, once it's secure enough, I am going to just insert my needle into the plushie and then bring it out the back somewhere, like so. Okay, and now I'm going to just repeat that on the other side. I'm just going to poke that out the back around. I want to poke it out the same spot that I did my other tail. So just like so. Okay. And this is what we're looking like. So now we're going to take our two tails, make sure that they are coming out of the same hole. And then we are going to take them and just tie them into a knot. And we're gonna snip off and then take and poke those tails in. All right, and that is the completed bee. This is what we look like. All right, that was the end of our tutorial for our little love bee. I hope that you guys loved making it. If you have any questions or anything, drop them in the comments below and I will do my best to try and help you. This one is made with Sweet Snuggles Light. This is what I did for the pattern, like the PDF pattern. And then this one is with Parfait Chunky. So they have a pretty good size difference. I think that I like the Parfait Chunky one the most. It's just so cute and like small. I hope that you guys liked the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe, give me a like, leave your thoughts in the comments. I don't really know what the plan for this channel will be. I plan to make more tutorial videos for some of my patterns in the future. Let me know if there's a specific pattern of mine that you would like to see a video tutorial on. I might do some vlogs here and there. I don't really know. It might just be a little bit of everything. But I hope that you guys liked this video. I hope that you subscribe. I hope that you're interested to see what the year holds for us, because I definitely am. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye!